Welcome back, everyone. Good morning, bright and early. So it is late on Sunday evening, very late indeed, or early hours of Monday morning, and we have some absolutely fabulous news, breaking news that we can confirm as being now official. Tommy has been released on bail and is out of custody, which means that we will not now be gathering at the Royal Courts of Justice in London later today. So if you had any plans on coming down, you can cancel those now. Stay at home, have a nice cup of tea, coffee, breakfast. Richard, good news.
It's fantastic news. I mean, obviously, the reality is what happened on Saturday. Obviously, massively disturbed the deep state, the Labour Party, Stasi Starmer and his Starmer troopers, and to hear that Tommy's been released so quickly it's amazing news, because I seriously thought when we heard he'd been arrested on terrorism charges that they were going to stitch him up and just bang him away for about 10 years. So this is amazingly good news, and again it's a sign of government overreach, you know.
Massive overreach.
And of course we organised and mobilised very, very quickly, which did that have an effect? I don't know, Paul, what do you think?
Well, possibly. I mean, look, at the end of the day, all that matters is that Tommy's out. That's what matters. Thank you, everyone that turned up in London at such short notice as well. I mean, Danny cancelled his flight back to Spain. Danny, thank you so much. Richard, you cancelled your flights back to
Northern Ireland.
to Northern Ireland. I rushed back up from Brighton,
Yeah.
but it's all irrelevant. Excuse me. What's relevant and what's important is that Tommy's free now. Guys, one or two of you may have seen some rumours late last night on Sunday evening, very late that is. There were rumours going around that Tommy might have been released on bail, etc. But let me tell you something, guys. We are bound, we have a loyalty to Tommy. We have a responsibility to Tommy and his family and his safety and his security. And nothing's official until we're told it's official by Tommy himself. So it's only now that we can release that Tommy is now thankfully free, is out on bail. Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is what we were looking at last night was the worst case scenario, and this is now the best case scenario. And it shows that what this is about intimidation, it's about bullying. And of course, the reality is he's been released, but we don't know the terms of the bail conditions. We haven't got that information. All we've got, the only information we've got is that he's been released.
Yeah.
We don't know what draconian measures they're putting on him, again, to silence him. Look, this has got to be put in the context of Saturday. We had the biggest and best event, Festival of Freedom, Festival of Patriotism. We called it Uniting the Kingdom, right? And again, from what I gather, and again, what I'm going on here is the information that I'm getting from people that are very, very close to Tommy, that the arrest was a direct result of what happened on Saturday. Now, what do you think about that, Paul? What do you think happened on Saturday?
Well, nothing. I didn't see anything sadly that could have led to an arrest, but I'm not a solicitor, I'm not a lawyer.
And why did they not arrest him on Saturday?
Well,
if it was so bad, a terrorist arrest.
Well, I mean,
Surely.
look. The word terrorism for me is just crazy. But I mean, look. At the end of the day, I think we have to wait and see how it all pans out. We still don't know the full details, but I think there's two main messages this morning, two or three really. One is thank you for coming up yesterday, and we're now no longer needed in London today. We can go home at last. The other message is, as I say, thank you for coming up yesterday. We're not needed today. Tommy is free. That's the main message. And the other thing is, guys, please understand that I know that you all want information. Everyone wants info. I mean, our phones yesterday were red hot. What do you know? What can you tell us? We must always be guided as to what's best for Tommy himself. So forgive us if, we can't always be as free with information as we'd like to be. But it is in the man himself's best interest.
The reality about it is that unless Tommy has actually signed off on information going out, it shouldn't be going out.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And again, I think from my point of view, obviously, hundreds of people turned up last night. and took part in
Amazing.
in really positive,
Yeah.
peaceful demonstrations because of the arrest of Tommy. It was very short notice, literally an hour's notice, and there was how many? 200 people?
Oh,
Well,
more.
I
would
reckon
say-
more, four,
yeah, I would have said
500
about
overall.
Okay.
between 4
Yeah,
and
but yeah,
500. Yeah.
Between the
Yeah.
whole event, 'cause people came and go, people were coming and going, and we were there from 3:45 until 7:15, was it?
Something
Yeah,
like that.
around
Yeah,
that.
there or
So we
thereabouts.
stayed
Yeah.
there, and obviously the police were on it straight away. They were trying to move us away from Downing Street, and this is actually for
And you
people-
held firm.
well. I mean, I think this is.
But
yeah,
you did.
well, yes,
You
I did. Hold
You said,
firm.
no, we're not breaking any
No.
laws. We're staying here.
Absolutely.
We're protesting peacefully. And at the end of the day, I believe that rattled enough feathers that it may have contributed to what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't want to take credit for getting Tommy out of prison, but I think you're right, Danny. I think standing there and doing a demo at very short notice. There was a lot of there was very senior police officers.
A
there,
lot of police there.
and they were not happy with what we were doing, and they tried to move us away from the gates of Downing Street, and
There was 14 police vans there.
Yeah,
right?
At one
Vans,
stage, yeah.
you know.
immediately, and they were in riot gear.
Yeah,
when
they were.
when they got, I mean, people that got there later wouldn't have seen that, but they were in riot gear. We then decided, it wasn't the police told us to do it. We decided to then go to Scotland Yard to do a little walk to Scotland Yard, and then to do a flash demo at Scotland Yard. Great success. There was a bit of war there, very iconic. And from the point of view of the message we want to get across, and I think there's another thing comes out of this, that it's imperative that the petition to ask for Mark Rowley's resignation is handed in to New Scotland Yard, because the reality is, okay, as far as we know, it wasn't a police force it wasn't the Met Police Force that arrested Tommy, but let's get it right. MI5 and the counter-terror and the anti-terrorism branch are based. Their main bases are in London, so there's nothing happening without the Home Office knowing about it, without the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary knowing about it. So very high-level people signed off on this arrest of Tommy under counter-terror legislation. And again, I'm not going to name them, but all the usual suspects were there as well, agitating and pushing for his arrest. And what this should do, so if anyone's watching this should galvanise you to realise that Tommy is the lightning rod for the whole of British culture, British society, the British people, if you like, and that's not a racial thing, we're talking about British people of all colours, anyone that's proud to be British. Paul, I keep quoting you on this.
Yeah.
What's the quote you always say about the heart?
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
If your heart's red, white, and blue, you're British, as far as I'm concerned.
So
And it's a video of thank you as well, isn't it? Because so many
Absolutely.
people come out at very, very short notice. I think we put a video out with Lawrence, Richard, myself and you. Within an hour or so, a couple of hours, there was a lot of people
That was
there.
just what I was going to say, Danny.
And thank you to everyone that come out, because I really do believe that you're the reason towards why he got where he is today, and he's out.
Hopefully, yeah.
And I think the other thing is, if the detention had stayed longer, I remember years ago, we were doing some Free Tommy demos, and we were organising them properly. There was nothing wrong with our organisation, but because of the tension and because of the anger about it, it was impossible. You know how much we put into keeping these demonstrations peaceful and these events peaceful. It was impossible to keep them peaceful. And what happened was, the whole thing, descended into chaos. And the reality about it is, after that happened, the police asked me to come and speak to them, and I thought, I said to the cop I was speaking, says, if I come, I'm gonna get nicked. Why do they want to speak to me? But because I ain't done anything wrong. But the reality was that there was a lot of disorder, and the police said to me at the end of the discussion, and it was a very senior officer. It was probably the second in line to the chief constable or commissioner, and he said, "What can we do to stop this violence?" I said, "It's very simple. Don't put Tommy Robinson in prison." And I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that anybody should be violent. But what happens when Tommy gets put in prison? We can't control it.
We can't control the people.
We've lost it. The police can't, nobody can control it, because people are so angry. And even today, I think we did a lot of that event this evening to calm people down and say, guys, we do not get violent. We keep this peaceful.
The first thing, when we heard and we decided that we was going up
Yeah.
to London, the first thing that we said within our WhatsApp
agreed,
group is
yeah.
that Richard and I and Danny
Yeah.
will be going to London to make sure, the main job was to make sure that everyone behaved themselves impeccably and didn't further put Tommy in any more danger. And that is vital moving forward, guys. Please, trust me.
And let's be honest, when we were there, we were the police were trying to intimidate us.
Yeah.
They came up with the riot gear, and it was like the mafia. We're going to look after you, but if you don't do what we say, we might not look
They're
after
okay in the end, to be fair, weren't they?
They
When
were.
we left,
In
they
the
were
end-
okay, yeah.
In the end, they were fine because they realised we didn't have any ill intent.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also held firm, and that's what you got to do with
Yeah,
the police.
yeah.
There was around 80 police officers there today.
There was a lot, yeah.
Maybe more than that, Danny. I think,
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Over the whole thing, is they had shift changes and all
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, they did.
So that would have cost the Met Police considerable amount of money. And again, the lesson goes out very, very, very simply: don't arrest Tommy on trumped up charges.
Yeah.
Leave the kid alone.
Leave
To
the
be
man
fair,
alone, yeah.
the
yeah.
people I was speaking to were prepared to go round the clock. We was talking about doing shifts,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
we was going to block that area every single day until we got justice, basically.
And I think this was going to spread across the UK as well. This was
Oh,
going
we
to
did.
this was going to pop up all over the UK. So look, guys, we're pleased that Tommy is out. Thank God he's out, guys. If you were going to come into London this morning, there's no need now. Thank you so much for making plans and doing whatever you've done. I think that's it for now, Richard.
I think,
Danny?
again, I think the final thing is, guys, if you were going to go to the Royal Courts of Justice, please do not go. If you come to London for any other reason, don't go to the Royal Courts of Justice tomorrow.
For now, we've got the result that we needed, and we've now got to sit back and wait and see how things pan out. Again, I say this to you, that we're always trying to give you the news and the information as quickly as we can, but we have to do it professionally, we have to do it correctly.
And make sure that there's no ill truths in it.
Yeah.
It has to be 100% confirmed before on your channel anything gets released. You're pretty much going to know that that's gospel. That's the truth.
We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks to you two today.
Great. Yeah.
Brilliant
Well,
work.
I mean, we what we did at very short notice, and again, and this isn't for us making ourselves look good. It's just so that the deep state understand, if we can get a decent number of people onto the street outside Downing Street and have a good event
With no notice.
with no notice, what can we do if we have notice? So in other words, just leave Tommy alone.
And thank you to everyone that come to that. It means a lot.
I mean, the people
It
that
means
came,
a lot.
and we met some great people.
Yeah, lovely,
We
as
met-
always.
As you always do when you go to these events, you meet some great people. This movement is full of really, really good, genuine people, and they're the ones that we've got to...
Best people I've ever met in my life, without a doubt. Without
absolutely.
a doubt.
Real people.
So, guys, good news this morning.
Yeah.
Tommy is free.
Yeah.
He's out. He's back. And we'll be back soon. Love to you all. Thanks for watching.
Don't go to the Royal Courts of Justice.
Exactly. See you later, guys.
See you soon.